If you're tuned in into the Nintendo fandom, then there's a good chance that you've run into a discussion that looks a little bit something like this.
I always get the question, Alax, what'd you think about Color Splash?
Paper Mario is a franchise that is a subject of debate so heated, divisive, and nonsensical that I wouldn't blame you for thinking that you accidentally walked into an American presidential debate. But the question that I am sure many have is, well, why the fuck? What is it about Paper Mario that makes these people so passionate and heated when Nintendo doesn't immediately replicate what the first two games did? Well, with the recent release of the Thousand Year Door remake on the Nintendo Switch, I decided to play it to see just what all the hype was about. Now, I have played the Thousand Year Door before. I played the GameCube version like, 4-5 years ago? I got to the part where you go to the train, which I do think it's pretty far into the game, but then the fucking memory card that I had shit itself and I was unable to continue the game and I had never played it ever since. So my memory is kind of foggy on a lot of shit. But okay, what is the Thousand Year Door about anyways? Well, I'm glad you asked! The Thousand Year Door is a game in which Mario has to go on an adventure to save Peach from a bunch of lunatics living on the moon that want to resurrect a 1,000-year-old demon that destroyed the land around them and will destroy the world if released once again!
What?
The Thousand Year Door is one of the most unique Mario games that I have ever played, as it features Mario going on an adventure in a world that feels shockingly different from what the usual Mario game would feature. In the first 5 minutes after you arrive to Rogueport, you see the Mafia mug a motherfucker in broad daylight. This is the kind of shit that you will see in a cartoonish version of New York City. Now that I'm thinking about it, there's an entire underground section to the city that's about as clean as the NYC train station, so maybe this is just fucking New York. Apart from mafia encounters, there's public executions, identity theft, helping one of the party members deal with his grief caused by them not being able to stand beside their wife during her final moments, causing him to refuse going to the sea until you find her final statement telling him that it wasn't his fault, and to not abandon the only other thing that he loves and can still do. This dragon is a freaky bitch! The world of the Thousand Year Door is extremely fleshed out. It feels like an RPG world with locales that feel like real places, but it adds the style of the Mario series. It still has the goofiness, the charm, the silliness, but it also adds a flair that makes it stand out amongst Mario entries as well. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is by all means an RPG with Mario elements integrated into its core, and that's part of what makes it so beloved by fans. It takes a genre so foreign to the franchise and combines it with many of the things that people like about the series. The gameplay, for example.
Makes me feel like Spider-Man.
In most RPGs, there are two main gameplay loops: the exploration in the overworld and the combat system. Exploration in the overworld is, it's pretty basic a lot of the time, since what most people spend the majority of the game on is the actual combat system. There are some games that make the overworld exploration really enjoyable, Persona 5 Royal to give an example, but it's not necessary a lot of the time, so many games simply do the bare minimum of what they need to do. And I don't mean this as an insult to like other RPGs. I do think that a lot of them are still pretty good. They don't need to have great overworld exploration, because at the end of the day, what I'm looking for in an RPG is a good combat system and shit like that. So if they have basic world exploration, who cares? All I'm trying to say here is that Paper Mario simply goes a step beyond. The Thousand Year Door designs its overworld to be more akin of that of a traditional Mario level, having the player do a lot of platforming and puzzle solving to progress through the story. The levels almost feel like 2D Mario at times, and it helps incentivize players to explore the world as there is more to offer rather than simply looking for shining items. You constantly gain new upgrades that not only affect the combat but also outside exploration, so that part of the game never gets stale, and every new party member adds onto the moveset as well, so by the end of the game you have a surprisingly robust moveset to take advantage of, and it's really fun. Even getting into battle feels unique, but you can simply run into the enemy, you can also jump on them or hit them with the hammer, rewarding you for playing the game like how you would a normal Mario game. And the combat system goes fucking crazy as well. It's a turn-based battle system, but it's more dynamic as you have to time your actions to do more damage. Pressing the buttons at the right time, mashing buttons, holding buttons. The battles are very dynamic to not scare away the people who are used to this. And not this! You must pay attention to enemy positions, enemy designs, pay attention to your surroundings, because if you're not careful, a meteor may just fall on you. I don't think the Umbrella's handling this one. Because of this, battles are really interactive and easy to get into for fans of RPGs and those who don't normally play them. I don't think I even mentioned the visual style that makes the game feel like it's right out of a fairy tale pop-up book. Well, now I am. It's pretty good. Something that I think the game did really well was expanding the Mario world, adding more to already established characters like Koopas, Toads, Goombas, etc., while also adding new creatures that just fit into the Mario world. All the worlds are also visually unique, not one chapter feels like the last, and that applies both to the gameplay as it does to the visuals. You start in the grasslands, sure, but the second stage is inside of a weird-ass giant tree. The third chapter is in a sky arena. The fourth chapter is in a town that is always covered in twilight. And the second to last chapter is in the fucking moon. What more could you want? I really wish that I had more to say about the style of the game. But then again, I suck at describing visuals in video games, so after playing Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, it became really evident why people cared so deeply about this game. So much of what it did just made it one of the best Mario games in general. It has one of the best stories in the series with one of the most unique settings in any Mario game, one of the most fleshed out worlds in any Mario game, and some of the best written characters in any Mario RPG. It is a perfect blend of a Mario game and an RPG, and I still think that no other RPG I've played quite matches the energy that this one brought, and that uniqueness is precisely why people care so much about Paper Mario.
Well, that's all the time that I have for today. I'm just a random stranger you met on the internet, but hey, just call me Sudo.